Hey guys, what's going on? Just out here for a couple hours today on Grand Lake practicing for that Toyota Series tournament. Actually, I'm going to start practicing in a couple days, full time, but had a couple days to take the boys out here. Got Elijah in the boat, got Owen back there, and super nice day. We just came over to sort of check the water conditions out a little bit. And the tip I wanted to give you today is I'm going to give you guys a detailed explanation of how to fish, or how I like to fish boat docks, and what you need to look for specifically on docks, because all docks are not created equal. There's certain times of the year, certain parts of them are better. And let's go through a little breakdown here. I'm going to take you from A to Z how I like to fish these docks and what I like to look for. Okay, the first thing you need to look for in the early spring time of the year, I'm talking specifically this time of year that we're, when I'm going to talk about fishing docks, is in early spring when that water temperature is just in the around 50 degrees, low 50s. I like to concentrate on these outside portions of the docks, because you see right here, like where that boat is in the corner, a lot of times on most docks across the country, they'll put out, some brush underneath there. Usually it's the deepest portion of the dock. And normally, if those fish, are staging on these docks, they're going to be around any brush on these floating docks. Now, if you have docks that are made out of pilings, it's also the same deal. They like the deeper pilings, any type of cover on the outside portion of the docks. Also, in the early pre-spawn, when the water temperature is 50 degrees or below, a lot of times they'll suspend underneath the floats on these deeper ends. They'll suspend anywhere between 3 to 10 foot down, depending upon the water clarity and the how deep the water is. So these are real key areas on that. Okay, the next area here is the meat and potatoes of what I like to look for on a dock, and this is in the springtime of the year, and this is the inside corners of the docks. Now, the sides can be good also depending upon the water depth and a combination of water clarity and water depth, but this right here is the real key spots on a dock. It's underneath the walkways, it's on the inside corners here, depending upon the angle of the bank, the position of the dock within a cove or creek, a lot of different factors. But most of the time in April, these fish are going to be setting up right on the inside portions of these docks or underneath the walkways there. Sometimes they're not really relating to the dock themselves. Sometimes they're relating to like the bank between the docks. And when those fish are up looking for nesting areas, looking for places to spawn, they'll cruise all around these banks. They're like, between docks like this too. So you can't want to overlook that. But a lot of times, if you've got water depth under 5 foot of visibility, those big ones are going to be sitting right there on the inside part of that corner of that dock. Like I said, it depends on the combination of water, clarity and depth that you have on the dock. And finally, one of the things you want to look for is the slips themselves on here. The slips can be really good, and I prefer the slips that do not have I prefer the slips that have boats in them, like this one here. You don't really want these clean slips like that. You can catch them occasionally, but the bigger fish are going to be on these docks like this that have the boats in them, because they're harder to reach, they put off more shade, and again, it's a combination of water clarity, water depth, and that type of stuff with it. So anyway, that's how I like to fish the docks. Like I said, this is a springtime deal that I'm talking about. There's different times of the year. Docks can be better than others, just based upon water temperature, water clarity, and that type of stuff. Anyway, guys, that's just sort of a brief overview of docks here. And we're going to be doing a lot more tips on docks throughout the course of the year, because they're one of my favorite structures to fish. And as our lakes get more overdeveloped, like they're getting across the country, one of the byproducts of that is you got to learn how to fish docks. And docks are a pain in the butt. They really are. I mean, they're a pain in the butt to fish. Once in a while you can catch fish on docks just fishing around the easy parts of it, but most of the time you're going to find out that those bigger fish are going to be at the harder to get to areas. You take a dock like that's like a clean dock with not a lot of areas that the fish can hide in, those will not produce the bigger fish as the more complex docks like that one there, with the boats and stuff around it. So one of the things that I'll tell you guys right off the bat, if you're fishing a lake that has a lot of boat docks in it, I mean a lot of docks, like Lake of the Ozarks, Lake Lanier, that type of stuff, most of the time you're going to catch your better fish around those docks. I mean, if you go up to Lake of the Ozarks, you can catch some fish on bare banks and in between docks like that, but most of those good fish are going to be in those hard to get areas on the inside part of the docks, between the docks, places you have to fight those cables and that type of stuff. So anyway, just a few tips. Hope that helps you out. We'll do a lot more dock tips later on. So we're gonna get back out here with the boys and, you know, try to catch a few more, try to get a bite, get something figured out for this tournament coming up. And I'll keep you updated, let you guys know how practice is going. So we'll check in later. See you.